Hello and welcome to Careflight Field at Watkins Stadium in Springboro, Ohio for tonight's MVCC Game of the Week for week number 2. I'm Jared Bergstrom and we'll be joined alongside Jeff Allen here shortly, and we're ready for tonight's game as the 0-1 Middletown Middies from the Greater Miami Conference take on the 0-1 Springboro Panthers out of the Greater Western Ohio Conference. These two teams have met over the last 2 years, and Springboro has prevailed in each of the last 2 outcomes. Let's take a chance and introduce you to Middletown's head coach, Don Simpson. He has been a defensive coordinator over a lot of well-known Cincinnati high schools, including Norwood from 2006 to 2009, Cincinnati Hills Academy from 2010 to 2015, Deer Park in 2016, and Princeton in 2017. He is a 1992 graduate from Warren G. Harding High School, where he played defensive back. And this is his first head coaching job there in Middletown. Now his coaching foe across the field is Panthers head coach Ryan Wilhite. This is his 14th season as the Panthers head coach. He has accumulated an overall record of 84-43. He is credited for the first head coach to win Springboro's first playoff win, and he is 2-0 versus Middletown. Keys to the game offensively for Middletown first. You got to keep Jerron Thomas hot. Nearly perfect last week against Western Hills, going 16 for 18 for 260 yards and 5 touchdowns. Once you get a lead, it doesn't matter the age or experience of this Panther team. They're coached not to give up on the play, so then they will play till the whistle blows. Defensively for them, or for the Middies, you have to attack the ball on rushing attempts. Giving up an average of 4 yards a carry against a team you know is going to run it every play is not very good. And always you got to force turnovers. Springboro's offensive keys to the game. They got to have better time of possession control. Didn't even have the ball for 20 minutes a game that was decided by one possession last week is not good. Starting quarterback Landon Palmer had a good game last week in his first varsity start. No interceptions or turnovers is a great building block that you can build the rest of the season off, so keep calling short passing plays to build confidence in an inexperienced quarterback. For defense, for Springboro, it's the same as Middletown. You got to attack the ball on running plays. Last week you gave up 184 rushing yards, 118 to one guy. So stack the box a little more and limit the huge gashing runs, plays that demoralize your defense. And finally, for Springboro, you got to get off the field on third down. Last week, Mason went 11 for 15 on third down, which kept drives alive and tires out your defense even more. We are going to toss it over to the band for the national anthem, and we'll be back for tonight's MVCC Varsity Game of the Week. Week number 2 as the Middletown Middies take on the Springboro Panthers.
Ladies and gentlemen, our colors are being presented by the Springboro High School Junior ROTC. We live in a great country with freedoms like no other. To honor America and all those who have given their lives defending those freedoms, please stand and remove your headgear as the Springboro High School Marching Band plays our national anthem.
All right, welcome back to Care Flight Field as we are ready for tonight's MVCC Varsity Game of the Week, week number 2. Middletown won the toss and elected to defer to the second half, so Springboro will be getting the ball first. They will be in the blue tops and white bottoms, and Middletown will be in the all-white jerseys. Jeff, who is a player to watch for Middletown tonight?
Well, Middletown, definitely Jaron Thomas, the guy you were talking about before the game, but also Shandon Morris, the guy who caught 4 of his 5 touchdowns that not a lot of people are talking about, number 4, as well as senior. And so,
and across the field, it's going to be interesting to see how Landon Palmer comes back. It's his first. This is going to be his first varsity start on Friday night in his hometown. So it'll be interesting to see how he builds off of his momentum last week. Before kickoff, who do you think is going to win and why?
Well, I definitely think Springboro is going to win. I think the conservative play by the quarterback will persevere overall. Springboro has always had a really tough culture.
I'm going to also take the Panthers. I think they're disciplined enough defensively by Wilhite and his coaching staff that they will not let the big plays happen that Western Hills let happen for Jaron Thomas last week. I think it'll be a close game throughout. I mean, if it can start off how it started last week for week 1, it'll definitely be interesting.
Yeah, like you said, Landon Palmer, very conservative, very efficient in his first start. And so we'll see if he can continue. A lot of high school quarterbacks, a lot of tall high school quarterbacks have the kind of cliche of being explosive, and not what we saw from him last week. Very decisive. And big Landon Palmer, the junior, will get the quarterback first. Will get the ball first.
And like I said in the pregame, Ryan Wilhite is 2-0 versus Middletown. Each of the last 2 years, he has had first-year starting quarterbacks, and Brody Melee 2 years ago, and then Cameron Roundtree last year. So Landon Palmer this year, I think Springboro will go 3-0 against the Middletown Middies.
Well, both of those guys had very good seasons, and so Wilhite has a rich history so far.
Then when you have
with first-year quarterbacks,
when you have probably one of the best all-time head coaches in the state of Ohio, and Ron Ullery as your offensive line coach, he's going to be able to protect your quarterback to get him some open looks.
And the junior Palmer will lead the Panthers out now against Chris Wells' Middletown defense.
Looks like Palmer's going to line up in shotgun. He's going to hand it off to, and that's a big first down play. That looks like it is number 5 for the Panthers.
Timmy
Kessaday.
Brought down after about a 17-yard gain.
For the Panthers with that 17-yard run.
As you can see on the replay.
And that is that brilliant
up the middle
offensive line work by Ron Ullery. And Kessaday is met in the backfield immediately by, I think that was number 50.
Number 21, Gene Underhill. And Underhill, a centerpiece of the defense last year. Big defensive lineman, had 56 tackles, interception actually, and half a sack.
Palmer back to pass for his first attempt of the game. He's going to tuck it and run. Evades 1 tackle, and he maybe will gain 2 from the original line of scrimmage.
Very creative footwork in the pocket by number 7. Getting just beyond the pocket and getting a few yards, only what he needed.
He was tackled by number 57 of the Middies, Earl Nelson. Be about 3rd and about 6 here. Palmer going to be back to pass. Going to air it out to the far sideline, and it is hauled in at midfield.
Palmer's pass
I do not see. No, that is number 2. Brandon Thomas of the Panthers.
Cameron Dillingham. It's a first down for the Panthers just across midfield.
That is a run up the middle by Cassidy.
Cassidy
Doesn't go very far.
Gains about 5 yards on the carrier.
Middletown D-line all over that.
Second down and 7 from the 46.
And Palmer drops back.
Palmer going to air this one out deep to, I cannot see the number, but it was incomplete. Good coverage. It looks like it's a number 11 it was intended to.
Josh Collins.
Just a little too long on the throw. It falls incomplete.
Good coverage there, though, by number, I would say 18, Kyle McGill, or Kylan McGill for the middies.
Set up a 3rd down and 7.
And number 6, Troy Vincent from the safety position, adding coverage over top.
Big 3rd and 7 here.
And a false start, it looks like.
Got flags prior to the snap.
It looked like the center moved the ball before the offensive line was ready or was set. And it will be a false start and back them up 5 yards.
We had timeout, Springboro.
Oh, Springboro actually got the timeout called before.
Gotcha.
So it'll be about 3rd and about 6 out of the Panthers timeout.
Nice timing. And we saw him trying to go out wide to Josh Collins there, who was a very effective defensive back last year. Number 1, actually, on their depth chart for defensive back. 2 interceptions last year. But so far, number 1 wide receiver for Springboro.
I don't see why he tried to put so much air under it. He could have hit him with the, or he could have put a little bit more zip on it, and I think could have got it in there on the sideline.
So far, one very impressive throw to Brandon Thomas, but big deciding 3rd down here.
Tonight's MVCC High School Football Game of the Week is being recorded by the Miami Valley Communications Council and media students from Fairmont High School. Go to our website, mvcc.net, to find a schedule for rebroadcast of this game. And while you're there, also find out how you can become a part of the community media. Get class information, streaming videos, and more. Go to mvcc.net.
And beautiful pass completed by Landon Palmer to Cameron Dickerson, the senior tight end.
Tackled on the play by number 28, Cameron Dillingham for the middies. Palmer will hand off to Thomas, and he maybe gets the line of, or Cassidy, and maybe gets the line of scrimmage.
Across the 30-yard line. Right at the 30-yard line, it will be 2nd down and 9.
Good joint tackle there by Chance Walker and Underhill.
Palmer back to pass, the slant in the middle. I'm surprising no penalties come out, as it was intended to number 13 for the Panthers.
He really tried to fit that one in there to Eric Myers.
Maybe if we can see replay. It looked like Myers was turned on the play.
We got Springboro out there now.
Let refs keep the flag in their pockets early.
Brandon Thomas in the slot on the left.
Here you see in the replay. It looks like
Play
he got
action.
there right as the bear. And Palmer gonna tuck it and run. Palmer evades one tackle and maybe gets to the 25, but either way it'll be short of the 1st down by about 4 yards.
Yeah, solid improvisation, making something out of nothing here. But it is 4th, and they will keep their offense on the field. We'll see what their strategy is here.
I don't know if I agree with this one. I think you got to take the points. It builds confidence for your young quarterback.
Monday formation, but he'll drop back anyways.
There's a flag on the play. I think there was offsides on against Middletown.
Springboro better hope. And check Fall making the sack, and that makes 1.5 on the season for him. And that will cause a turnover. Middletown will take over.
There's no yardage assessed. The ball goes over on downs.
The ball will be turned over on downs, and Middletown will take over at the 35.
And while they're at it, a sideline warning for Springboro.
Well, one more, and they'll be assessed a penalty each time after that.
Could be very game-changing.
I think you should have taken the points in that situation. You end the drive on something positive for a young quarterback. He had a decent drive driving them from the 20 down inside to the close to the red zone.
And that brings out Jerron Thomas. The senior drops back.
Thomas airing it out on the first play from scrimmage, and it is hauled in by number 4.
And that is Mr. Reliable, Shandon Morris. Jerron Thomas did not come to play any games here at Carefly Field tonight.
19 on the tackle for the Panthers.
And as you see on the City Barbecue replay, drops back, launches it, beautiful arcing throw over 4 Springboro defenders. Wow.
Max Yost with the tackle. Thomas quickly back to the line and hands off to number 5, and number 5 is going to scamper in for a 20-yard touchdown.
And they will
run.
go right at them. Josh Bryant on the rushing touchdown. Saw a little of him last week with 56 yards and a touchdown, and we'll see him early again.
And 2 plays. That is what Jerron Thomas can do. He did that last week, flipping field positions with his aerial attack in this Middletown offense.
And that's insane. They just gathered back to the line real quick. Caught the Panthers very off guard.
Yeah, they did. That was excellent no-huddle call by head coach Don Simpson.
And in no time, they make offense look easy.
Shandon Morris is the holder for the kicker. Kick is up, and kick is good. And Middletown leads 7-0, 8:54 left in the first quarter of our MVCC game of the week.
And Jared, my biggest takeaway from that drive is the wheels on number 4. Wow, getting right over the top of that defense.
Right, I mean, just the sheer, I mean, and it was just, he just ran. As soon as the ball was hiked, he just took off. I know Wilhite has got to be shocked. I did not think he was going to take 2 plays. I think Wilhite will now consider not going for it on 4th down.
Incredible. And adds on to his excellent week from last week. I mean, excellent season from last week. That puts him up over 150 yards.
Well, one for one tonight with at least a 60-yard pass completion, leaving off right where he was last week. Middletown on to kickoff again. It's a kick booming towards the middle of the field, and it will go into the end zone. Oh, no, it's fielded at about the 1.
And Myers will bring it out and march down the sideline, and he is still going. Spin off of him.
Stays on his feet and finally brought down by about 6 or 7 different middies. I want to check our replay on that one to see if he was not in the end zone. That looked like it was in the end zone. But what a return by
Nonetheless,
Myers.
great return.
Myers is 3 yards deep in the end zone. Why is the ref letting him take that out?
Very elusive, and great pursuit at the end of this play by number 24, Jalen Stewart, dragging him down from the back.
64-yard return. I can't believe the refs let him take that out of the end zone.
Yet here we are, and Palmer will lead the Springboro Panthers into the middies 40.
Better starting field position Palmer had on his last drive, starting here at the 36, it looks like.
See if he can march this time.
Palmer hands off to Kessaday, and he's hit at the line of scrimmage, but a flag on the play. Underhill with the tackle.
And there's that kid again showing up. Just relentless.
Illegal shift. Offense, number 13. He never became set. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So an illegal shift by Myers of the Panthers will move him back 5 yards. Now 1st and 15 from the 41.
And that's something you definitely don't see a lot.
I think they got the number wrong because I didn't see Myers go in motion at all. Palmer will hand off to Kessaday again. Kessaday cuts back up, and he's hit right at the line of scrimmage and maybe gets back to it.
And Underhill with the initial contact again. creating tremendous energy, as you see in the City Barbecue replay right there. Underhill in the middle of the play.
2nd and 15 again.
And they'll flip their formation this time with the slot being on the right side. Myers and the
end around with Myers, and there's another flag, and Myers will be out to the original line of scrimmage, but let's see what the penalty is.
On the play, tackle made by number 28, Dillingham, along with 6, Vinson, but there's a penalty flag on the play.
Vinson with the tackle on the play, and I wonder if Myers was not set again on that. No false start against the Panthers. So this will be 2nd and 25.
Very costly mistakes at the beginning of this drive.
6 men on the line scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
And wow, initially not looking good for Coach Ryan Wilhite's offense.
2nd down now from the 46-yard
The first drive looked great. This drive is turning into a nightmare. A total of negative 10 yards on the play. Palmer back to pass, and they're sending everything at it. And Kessaday will be out to about the original line of scrimmage for the Panthers. So it'll be 3rd and about 9 coming up. But Palmer just to be able to get that ball away. I mean, you had 21 in Underhall, I think 25 in Richards, and I think Dillingham were all in the backfield on that.
Well,
that's where you see.
Well, that's what the screen is designed to do, is create deception, and they almost got there too fast, though.
Kessaday gets the handoff, and Kessaday will have the 1st down, and he will have a touchdown for the Panthers on a 36-yard run.
And Timothy Kessaday with amazing elusiveness up the middle. He just found a seam and ran with it. He gets behind the initial defensive line right there, breaks a tackle, cuts upfield, and he just runs to the edge as fast as he can.
I guess, I mean, that was only 2 plays for Springboro to score 2.
Yeah, after those after those mistakes,
costly penalties.
But Springboro shows a little big play ability, something they haven't shown so far this season.
Owen Brown on to kick the extra point for the Panthers. Snap was bad hold, but the kick is up and good. And just like that, Springboro barely has the ball for over a minute and ties it up at 7. This is somewhat remnants of last week. Just took them a little bit of time to get going.
Oh, yeah. Well, not as much time. They're definitely scoring faster than they did last week. That's for sure. And in 2 drives, Jared, it looks like they're trying to center the offense around Kessaday, but we'll see how this one goes.
That's what it looked like. I mean, Palmer last week was only 11 out of 16 passing-wise. A lot of rushing attempts. And Kessaday looked like he was going to emerge as it. I mean, he's following in the footsteps from Liam Foley and D.L. Knock from years ago. Well, a couple seasons removed for each of those. So now it'll be Brown and the Panthers kicking off for the first time tonight. Looks like you'll have number 5 for the middies, Josh Bryant, number 4, Shandon Morris, and I think that's number 22, Kalon Johnson, back deep.
To receive for the middies is number 5, Josh Bryant. Brown will kick it off for the Panthers.
And someone I'm confused I haven't seen yet is Willian Yates from last season. Don't know what's happening there. But number 1 was a difference maker in the slot last year.
Brown's kickoff is trailing towards the sideline and fielded at the 1 by Brown. Or Bryant, and Bryant has a hold of the outside. Bryant has the kicker.
And he cuts by the kicker, and he has open field. It looks like he may get there.
20, 10, 5. Bryant with a 99-yard kickoff. Just like that, Middletown is back up 6.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
I guess we got to see what Springboro does on this
Here we
next
go.
drive. I mean,
Josh Bryant. And it bounces 2 times.
I mean, nobody for Springboro had a hand on him until right there. And then you just have the kicker to beat, and he juked him out.
The vision.
And it's just a foot race to the end zone. Number 6 for the Panthers, Ethan Franz, could not catch him. In back-to-back weeks, we've seen a kickoff return. So it'll be interesting. But answering your question about Yates, from what I've heard, I think he's focusing primarily on basketball.
Gotcha. Smart. A very, very nice ball handler.
And the refs stopped play for some reason.
Illegal equipment on the kicking team. Number 29 must leave for one play.
Illegal equipment. I've never heard
On
that.
a kicking play. They
Right.
specified.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if that one player determines their kicking.
Kind of confused.
As you see, Josh Bryant walks to the end of the bench and the crowd is cheering his name.
Bryant 2 touchdowns already tonight.
Snaps good, holds up, kick is up and good right down the middle. And Springboro is up 7 now, 14-7.
Middletown.
Or Middletown. Oh, hey, it's only the second game. I'm allowed to still have a few mistakes.
Oh, trust me, I've felt my fair share already. 6:47 remaining in this first quarter.
I mean, here you go again. I mean, this is just a flawless return. I mean, this is textbook how a coach wants a kickoff returned. Wow. This is just, I mean, you juke out the kicker and a foot race from the 30, and he turns in the afterburners and he cruises in for a 99-yard kickoff return.
I'm already having PTSD of Jaton McLean. 2 touchdowns for the Middies running back.
Well,
far.
Last week McLean had 7 for the Fairfield Indians. Let's see if Brian stays in the game long enough to get close to that. And I mean, looking at their kicking return stats from last week, granted, Western Hills only kicked it off twice because they did score, but punting return wise, they didn't really stand out to me. Middletown set to kick off for the 3rd time in this first quarter, and this one's back into the end zone, and the ref lets him run it out again. That's 20, and he has a seam to the outside, and he's out across the 30, maybe out to the 35. Another kickoff where it's returned, or it's into the end zone.
And that was sophomore Titan Case on the return.
That is the first time I've ever heard that one. The officials call timeout for a water break.
What?
Well,
dehydration? It doesn't seem that hot out here.
Tonight's game is sponsored by City Barbecue and Miami Valley Adapted Sports. Miami Valley Adapted Sports is a Paralympic sports club that provides recreational and competitive sporting opportunities for individuals with physical disabilities. Visit MiamiValleyAdaptedSports.org for more information. Go to MVCC.social to find us all over social media. Follow us for updates all season long and join in on the conversation using hashtag MVCC_net. Each week we will be choosing someone at the game who uses our hashtag to be our fan of the game, who will win some cool prizes, but you can't win unless you use the hashtag MVCC_net. Out of the officials' water break, it seems like early they're trying to pound the ball with Kessaday for the Panthers, and then it's leaving Thomas and Collins a little bit more open on the outside, as we saw on the first 2 drives. But it'll be interesting to see. I mean, you have no really an answer for Middletown's offense so far, as Kessaday gets the ball and he's tackled right at the line of scrimmage.
Actually, isn't Kessaday?
Oh, it's
Jake
22.
Stamkov.
Oh.
Short gain on the play.
So alternative back there.
Tackle made by
And number 22
57.
will stay on the field. So giving Kessaday a breather. And Thomas in motion.
And they're going to hand it off to 22 again.
And Thomas was a decoy
And
but
it was
that
red.
definitely did not fool the Middletown defense.
Well, that's something Middletown is going to be. That's going to be the standout for Middletown this year is their defense. Their head coach, Don Simpson, his first year here, but all he has done is been a defensive coordinator for a lot of local Cincinnati teams that make perennial deep playoff runs because of their defense. As Palmer's back to pass, and Palmer almost blindsided, and Palmer will have a close to a first down as he is hit hard out of bounds.
Oh, my goodness.
And Palmer has not, there he is, he popped up.
And what a hit.
Almost blindsided
14,
by number
Brown.
17.
Oh, 28.
And just watch it, and he just absorbs the impact.
Actually, number 2.
Shawn Duckworth.
Laying down the hammer.
4th and 1, and Springboro is going to punt. Well, at least line up in punt formation. And it looks like Brown will be the one to punt for the Panthers, too.
For the Middies is number 6, Troy Vincent.
And linebacker Troy Vincent will actually be back to return the punt.
Check that, it's number 4.
Actually, it's Shandon Morris. And a flag on the play, and it'll be a delay game.
Delay game. Offense.
This
Number
one will
8.
be accepted.
5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
How do you blame the delay game on the punter? I guess you just got to pick someone.
How do you get a delay game?
I've never not on a punt.
Right. Josh Collins will be the long snapper.
Really, the wide receiver? Huh. Not a good punt by Brown. And I thought he dropped it. That was the player's.
Morris had to slide to get it, but
the 37-yard line is where the middies will start. Yeah, how many plays do you think on this one? I mean, if he hits either Shandon Morris or Josh Bryant, can hit a seam, it's going to be a long night for this Springboro defense.
Well, all eyes on White here as this exhilarating offense sets to go back out. And a 4-receiver set trips
to the
wide
top.
left. And run with Josh Bryant.
The handoff, and Bryant ducks under one tackle and gets about 4 on the play.
And they're able to corral him there.
Looked like initial contact by
Number 5, Josh Bryant, the ball
55 or 54 for the Panthers.
34, or 54 rather, Jake Kowalski.
Kowalski with the tackle for the Panthers. Thomas pulls it out, throws it to Morris on the sideline.
Oh my
Morris
goodness. You have to be kidding me. Get this kid on the track team. Oh my God. Shandon Morris, 5 receiving touchdowns on the year. And this kid isn't finished with his 5th quarter of football. As you see on the City Barbecue replay, just a simple flat pass, evades the cornerback, and
almost
you're fooling if you
by
think
number 2.
that second level is catching it.
Thomas for the Panthers had a chance to bring him down.
Number 4 turning on the Jets. And he's back out there holding. So Shandon Morris. Will we get another showdown?
And I think that's a false start on a kicking play. I think we're checking off all the oddities.
Encroachment.
Oh,
Defense.
encroachment.
Half the distance. Goal line.
So you move from the 2 to the 1.
So, including kick returns and punt returns, 6 active plays for the middies.
Yeah.
21 points pending the extra point.
Snaps hold and everything's good, and it's a 21-7
Oh no,
lead.
that is no good. Off to the right. Bad angle from over here.
Sun was in my eyes. But 20-7 leads the Middletown Middies, and an offensive onslaught from Jaron Thomas, Shandon Morris, and number 5, Josh Bryant.
Wow, what an explosive
that
trio.
That kid is going to have a lot of exercise tonight. He's going to be out of breath.
4:50 left. Already 3 touchdowns in this game by one team. So we saw this last week, a lot of quick strike touchdowns.
And then one team seemed to just cool off in the second half.
Yeah.
And right now, Wilhite has got to be scratching his head on how he can figure out how to sustain a drive long enough to get his defense some rest.
Yeah, Carafly Field cannot feel good about their Panthers right here, Jared. Do or die drive, sort of, because if you give Middletown back this ball when they are this hot and stride, I have a feeling it'll be ugly.
And they're about a couple drives from getting out of hand as Craig Shields, number 44 for the Middies, is on to kick off for his 4th kickoff of the game. This one is fielded in the end zone. Let's see if the refs let it. No, they won't let him run that one out. So Springboro will start this drive, their 3rd drive, at the 20. What do you have to do for the Panthers to eat now? I mean, now you even got to get a first down. Sustain a drive, at least 3 plays that can give your defense some sort of rest. I mean, they're out there sucking wind like they're playing at Mile High in Denver.
They're going to have to put together something, Jared, and not even on offense, on defense. That is the most essential part of this game at this point, especially when they are scoring this quick. You cannot let teams score this quick, no matter how athletic they are.
Right. I mean, and like you said, it's only 6 plays, but it's 6 hurry-up plays that the Middies has ran.
It's as simple as that. You can only do so much about physical quickness, but at the same time, there are concepts that where you can contain speed in football, and I think they should start emphasizing them, and we'll see how they react to it as Landon Palmer hands the ball off. Kessaday charging up the middle.
Drugged down by the jersey by number 66, Nick King. I don't think that's Nick King.
You can see here on the City Barbecue replay, he builds up a lot of steam and
he just plows through for a gain of 6. Or a gain of 8, sorry, correction.
And another handoff to the right there, running downhill and wrapped up by Underhill immediately in the backfield. And number 21, again, proving he is a monster. He has been everywhere so far tonight. Only 8 minutes through gameplay. Center Max Ralph will set up again. Palmer will drop back this time, hitting the slant.
And almost intercepted by number 2, Shawn Duckworth of the Middies.
And behind the corner.
3rd and 2, and that would almost was Palmer's first turnover of the year. Let's see. Well, that's another thing. You cannot read your hot route from the beginning. We talked about this last week with Tyler King for the Elks. He was reading it from the beginning, and then he progressed and was looking down the field and covered, and he ended up getting benched. Well, it's already 4th down.
In football, in any time, but especially with superior athleticism, you cannot telegraph anything.
Kicked is another bad kick, and this one doesn't even reach midfield. And
wow,
one play.
We're used to seeing a very effective Springboro special teams.
Oh gosh,
these last 6 years.
Charlie Cubander for 3 years, and then John Luxick for 2 years, or Connor Luxick for 2 years. I mean, it was almost for sure. When those two were here for the Panthers, field goals, extra points were for sure, and punts and kickoffs were going to be in the end zone.
Yeah, but definitely a sign of times for the Panthers, as they have always been a passing offense.
Thomas lines up in the backfield by himself. Throws a screen pass to Bryant. Bryant makes one tackle miss. Bounces off
the nets.
And he will be close to a first down.
Great tackle by Keith Hiffner, but
it will be enough for a first down.
Excuse me, Lincoln Truck South.
15 yards is gained. It's a first down for the Middies at the Panther 27.
And here we go, Thomas.
Thomas trying to work out his jets, and he will have another first down.
And how about that block at the end of the play?
Block. We'll see it here in the City Barbecue replay.
Drops back, sees the pressure, able to evade, get past the first level.
And then here comes Duckworth, I believe. with a
Don't quite know who
how
that
do you
one
do?
was, but wow.
Thomas back throws a bullet to the left side. No blockers out in front, and
Wide receiver screen, but
that was to number 12 of the middies. You want to try that one?
Million.
Braylon Million.
Okay.
5-yard line down to the 3. It'll be second down and goal.
Second and goal from about the 2.
They got a tight end in the middle here,
Thomas
right up
hands
the
off
middle.
to Brian, and no good. Maybe gets the line of scrimmage, but he's knocked back by a pack of Panthers. And number 66 helmet comes off of the play. That is center Nick King. So he will have to come out for one play. Let's see if Springboro tries and stack the box right at the penalty or right at the center position.
That one play was definitely Springboro's best defensive stand so far, no doubt.
Well, without your starting center in there, Springboro has to realize that, and they have to attack on this third down and goal situation.
Let's see if they take advantage of that vulnerable middle right here.
Third and goal from the 4.
Well, Don Simpson can call the timeout, and he can get his center back in there. But he's going to actually send out number 52, Keyshawn Beatty. I wouldn't be surprised here if maybe Middletown takes that delay of game, saves the timeout for later, the penalty, and knock him back, and that's the one play that the center, Nick King, has to sit out. Play clock's down to 3.
And that's what they'll do, actually. So I don't think they had anybody ready to play center, Jared.
That is how you...
Middletown, their first of the half.
They were definitely unprepared on that play.
I think they were just winding the clock, letting the clock run down a little bit. They took the timeout for some reason.
Huh. Well, interesting strategy. I'm definitely curious.
I mean, my way is how you can bend the rules and not cheat. But you'll see Nick King back out there for the middies at center. And you're actually going to see Gene Underhall check into the game for the middies on offense.
he has been the defensive menace all night. Good part of it last week, too.
Got the Panthers coming out of the timeout by Middletown.
And it looks like Underhill will line up in fullback.
They have him listed as slot back on the depth chart or on the program.
It looks like they might run it up the middle here. Oh,
They're
wow.
going to go Wildcat with Underhall taking the snap, and Thomas is down here to take it. And Underhall's going to run right up the middle, and he will not get into the end zone.
And they're just going to try to use their linebackers' momentum there.
21 Underhill, the ball carrier.
And didn't get enough charge from their offensive line at all. But nonetheless, a good stand by Springboro once again. Didn't really head up the middle where the hole was paved, kind of try to pave his own way to the right. And the middies will suffer from it. This will be a 4th and 3. And it looks like they'll go with the field goal squad here and try to make it 23-7 with this attempt.
Middletown sets up for a field goal. It'll be Morris holding. Rivera will kick it.
So good stand there by the Panthers to at least hold them to a field goal attempt. But they
and the kick is up. So, I mean, a 16-point lead for the middies, but Springboro has to pat themselves on the back as a defensive hold there.
It's definitely a little hope.
But now you have to capitalize on this, and you have to end this drive in a touchdown.
Well, the thing about steering yourself in the right direction is, Jared, you still have to keep on driving. And that's exactly what they did. They took a turn in the right direction, but let's see if they can capitalize off their great defensive stand there. And Landon Palmer definitely going to have to improve. Because I think if they continue to run it with Quesada constantly and try to center their offense around them,
You
eventually
can stack the box.
Yeah, eventually the middies are going to catch on and make some adjustments.
Well, it doesn't work for Fairmont. They run the same 3 plays over and over and over and over. for 99 times.
Well, the two plays that they don't run that are the same are the ones that trick you. That's the ones you're ready for
Right.
the whole time.
And then they never do it until you're not expecting it.
Exactly.
So you're just waiting to, you just keep feeding Cassidy until he can eventually break one. I mean,
well, they need something that's going to work.
Ron Ullery
pretty
has
quickly.
got to work on this offensive line between this quarter change and at halftime.
And there will be a stoppage real quick because the whistle blows. Not sure what is happening right now.
Number 21 for the, that's not 21, that's 24. Kendrick Williams has to check out of the game for the Middies, and number 25, Jermaine Richards checks in for some reason. And the kickoff is down in the end zone, and the refs will blow that one dead too.
So I think someone said something to him.
Well, 2 straight kickoffs that he fielded, or they fielded at least 2 yards deep in the end zone, and they take it out past the 40.
That one right there was just as deep as the other one. So
right.
Someone definitely said something to him. Whether it be
it was probably the head coach. It had to have been the head coach. Oh yeah, you couldn't hear the fans, we're on the visitor sideline here. You could definitely hear the boos from the fans. But now it will be interesting. How does Landon Palmer and the Panthers offense try and get some sort of answer as they find themselves down 16?
Well, in my opinion, I think they need to get some rhythm going, whether it be some quick passes, end arounds, some play actions, something just to get the offense going, get Landon Palmer in a confident stride. And he'll hand it off up the middle with Cassidy again, and he'll puff it straight up.
And Middletown recovers at about the 30-yard line.
Senior Shawn Duckworth comes up with it, and just like that, the game possibly crumbles for Springboro.
Knocked out by number 6 of the defense, Troy Vinson.
Huge play.
Team captain forcing a big fumble recovered by number 2, Shawn Duckworth. And right now, Middletown is firing on all cylinders in all aspects of this game, and they have a potential to blow this one wide open if they can score a touchdown here.
And Cassidy is kicking himself right now, just careless with the ball. Definitely a mental mistake. He'll try to shake that off, but it may be too late as Jaron Thomas drops back and goes wide.
An incomplete intended. I cannot even see who that was intended. Number 10, Will Williams. But there is a flag on the play I saw in the back.
It'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Middies from the Panther 35.
I saw a flag in the back of the end zone. Oh, maybe not. A piece of yellow debris then. Here's a out route pass to number 25, Jermaine Richards, and he's drove back. Initial contact by 19 of the Panthers.
Definitely some words exchanged there.
Or Josh Collins.
No gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
3rd and 10 from the 35. If Springboro can hold them here, this might be a little bit too far for field goal range for the Middies. But it'd probably be 4-down territory most likely. The cusp of field goal range. Bad snap. Thomas picks it up off the ground, and Thomas is going to take a sack. Looks like number 45 comes through with the initial hit for the Panthers. And that will answer our question as they will send out the punt team. And Thomas is running to the sideline. He is holding his shoulder. It does not look good for the Middies if he cannot come back. He is in agony as he falls down on the sideline. You see right there, nobody has come on. Here comes the training staff.
And that could be
detrimental for not just this game, but for their season for the Middies.
Jaw-dropping for this season. What a player of that magnitude goes down. And will be such a sad story if he cannot play for the rest of the season, Jared. That's what it looks like. It may look like that right now.
Right. You do not. Let's take a look at this replay. That's the touched. Well, there should have been holding. Defensive holding right there. I would have called that. But it'll be interesting to see if Thomas can come back out of this. Here it is. Here's this play, though. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, this is crucial for the middies right now, and it could be for the Panthers too. Because I mean, if you don't have a person that can lead this offense, I mean, Thomas, this is his first year starting at varsity too,
and that it'll make it that much more sad if he cannot come back for the rest of the season.
He is up and walking around now on the sideline.
Very good sign, but he has been
that
dazzling.
Shoulder.
He has been dazzling his first year so far through 5 quarters.
Let's see where he goes. He's still in so much pain. You can tell by the way he's walking along the sidelines. As Middletown is set to punt on a 4th and 16 here.
We'll definitely await.
And you see right here on the sideline, it looks like number 7, Kamari Fuller, is warming up on the sideline as the punt almost blocked. And it takes a Middletown bounce, and there's a flag on the play. Let's see what the flag is. The refs are huddling up at the 20 or the 15-yard line. I don't see anything for contact, as you see here in our shot. Thomas, they're trying to evaluate how much pain he can go through if he can go through the motions of a quarterback. Because I mean, that was his throwing arm that he was grabbing when he was running off the sideline. And he does not look like he has. He looks like he can throw it or can run, but I mean, you don't want to take the injury risk. I mean, you're up 23-7.
Interference on the kicking team. The assessed 15-yard
Big catch interference assessed on Middletown, a 15-yard penalty. That'll put them at about the 30-yard line. So the punt will net about 2 yards.
Yeah, must have been
the only thing
some
I
kind
could
of shove.
They had to have shoved them into
on the way, because the returner wasn't even in the direct
he got out
trajectory of the punt. So curious about that call, but we'll move on to Springboro ball.
I'm looking at the stats. I mean,
Kamari
Fuller is about 25 pounds heavier than Jaron Thomas. So, I mean, you got a little bit of a bulkier quarterback down there.
Well, let's see if he has half the arm, because that kid could air it out.
I have lost sight of where Thomas has went on the sideline. He's still walking behind the line of scrimmage, trying to stretch that shoulder out. Palmer pitches out to, that looks like number 22.
Jake Stamkos. I'll get another carry.
That's about a gain of 4.
And it makes you wonder about number 5, Timmy Kessaday. You may
I
see
have
him
not
on the
seen
sideline.
him. I mean, he's been back in for one play since he had his touchdown, and he's fumbled it. Springboro has 2 receivers to the bottom. An end around here with 22. Or no, that's 20. And he's hit in the backfield.
And the motion play goes nowhere.
Number 6, Troy Vinson, with the tackle for the middies. And quickly, it's 3rd and long.
That is a gigantic hit on Titan Case, a sophomore Springboro wide receiver in the backfield. That'll bring up 3rd and 9. And Landon Palmer will be tested again.
Palmer, pressure up the middle, and it is that hauled in?
Beautiful catch. Yes, Josh
Hauled
Collins gets hit on the play, and really good throw by Palmer. Yeah.
But
Fits
it's not
that
a
tight
first
window.
down. All that work for about 2 chain links short.
Well, they are definitely going for it.
You have to.
Beginning of the second quarter, you already find yourself down by 16. You don't know if that
Palmer's going to line up under center, and he
gets it.
He has it.
The initial push did not get there, but he moved slightly to the left and dove over what appeared to be the plane. And they'll confirm it.
That's a smart decision. I would have went for it there, too. Not just because it's 4th and chain links, but, I mean, you're allowing, if Thomas can come back in this game, you're allowing more time, more for that arm to stiffen up. I mean, if he could have came back in on adrenaline and thrown a
Stamkos
touchdown.
up the middle and gets absolutely upended, and another shoulder
Troy
injury.
Vincent comes up holding his shoulder, and he's coming out of the game.
And that is their hybrid safety linebacker, Troy Vincent, who was a huge part of their defense last year, gathering 60 tackles and a pick. And last week he had 10 tackles and I think a pick. So huge part of their D there. And they will get Middletown jumping, I think.
Penalty flags prior to the snap.
Dead ball. Encroachment. Defense. 5-yard
You see
penalty.
Stamkos marches up the
Second
middle.
down.
Vincent dives in for the tackle, and that looks like that's where he hurt his shoulder. He's diving in at the knee.
He took his thigh straight on with full force. And Vincent will also be looked at over here. So 2 of the Middy's hugest players injured in back-to-back drives. And Palmer to the side here for a little dump screen.
And that will be enough for a first down and more for Brandon Thomas.
Palmer's pass is complete to number 2, Thomas. He's across
And they're
midfield
back
down
into
to the
Middy's territory.
And so far, he has been the biggest Panthers wide receiver, although there are not a lot of qualifications.
First down for the Panthers at Middletown's 39-yard line.
Brandon Thomas has been working in that slot all night.
I think we were spoiled with Nick Kovacs, and
Palmer handoff to Stamkos, and he just
he'll be
follows
close
his
to another
blockers
first down.
right out. Excellent push there by number 58, Ryan Ames,
The official.
and Cameron Dickerson, the tight end.
Panthers down to the 28.
And look at Springboro up on the line, quickly ready to go. Only 3 seconds come off the play
Stamkos
clock.
again up the middle. They're finding a lot of success with this kid.
And he will be close to another first down,
Handoff
actually
again
about
up the
short by
middle,
3.
battling for those tough yards.
Gain of
Tackled by
7 on the
28,
play.
Dillingham.
And let's see if no, it's enough for a first down and move the chains.
Looking very durable in that backfield. Jake Stamkos is getting some steam ahead of him.
Panthers quickly at the line, handoff to Stamkos again. Stamkos cuts it back in, and he will still get about 4 or 5 on the play.
And wow, he is just bursting through those
Handoff
seams.
again, the right side brought down from behind by number 56, Clarence.
All I have to wonder is why was he not starting this game? I mean, he has proved on the last 4 runs have been 3 first down producing runs.
Well, Timmy Cassidy was nothing short of explosive, but
Palmer pulls it
That
back,
one
throws a
fumble.
pull to number 13, and that will be a Panthers touchdown.
Eric Myers with the touchdown.
And just like that, Springboro cuts the lead down to 10.
And that drive, as you see on the City Barbecue replay, completely resurging the Springboro offense, I would say.
I would go for 2 in this situation. Cut it to a 1-possession game.
Definitely agree with you, because if you don't lose that much. But they will kick the extra point here, at least attempt it.
Snap's good, hold up, kick is good.
And Middy's only up by 9 here with the health of Troy Vincent and Jaron Thomas in question. So we have what appears to be a nail biter. Number 8 is looking moderately active on this sideline, and we'll see if he'll come back out.
I've seen him down here on the sideline during that drive. He was down here throwing he was throwing very hard to the backup quarterback.
So I wonder if he slightly pulled something, or you could only guess what happened to his body on that play, but
I think Middletown was lucky that it happened on 3rd down and they were able to punt on that 4th down. Because if you would have had to throw in Kamari Fuller into this game cold, who knows what could have happened offensively. It could have been a snap over the head. It could have been a botched handoff. But right now, it looks like a new game here for the Panthers if they can somehow keep that Stamkos surge going.
And so a remnant of hope for both teams here, as Jaron Thomas appears to be game ready. And on the other side, Springboro.
Springboro has found new life.
Yes. In their
After looking
offense.
dead in the water for the second half of that first quarter.
Almost the entire first quarter. Definitely still some life left in the Panthers as they kick it off. And we'll see if the Middies can strip it right back out of them here.
Brown with a kickoff. It's a squib kick. Fielded at about the 20.
And that was a very solid squib kick. at the least. And Shannon Thomas almost finds the edge.
Shannon Thomas has the edge. He's out across midfield, and wisely just steps out at the 47 of the Panthers.
And good pursuit there by Ethan France, getting to the edge and knocking him out. As you see on the City Barbecue replay, solid squib. It just ends up in the wrong person's hands. Shannon Thomas turns that into a medium play.
I mean, it's a drive, and there he is. Number 8, Jaron Thomas checks back into the game.
Big man on campus will go out behind center. And Jared, I think that's 4 people on one side of the field, if I'm correct, and they will straight up screen just like that, right in front of him.
And all of it for a gain of 1.
And tried to change direction, but there's nothing you can do about that. You line up.
I mean, you know what you're going to – the defense knows what you're going to do.
Well, if you line up 3 guys in front of one guy on one side of the field, I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
Right. I would have liked to see Bryant maybe throw it back to Thomas. As Thomas back to pass. Hit again as he throws, and that one lands injured. And Thomas slow to get up from that hit by number 4 for the Panthers. That is Braden Miracle, sorry.
And the offensive line is going to
Thomas is coming out of the game.
Going to have to try to do something here.
Substitution.
The quarterback is in agony.
Alert for Kamari Fuller. He checks into the game.
And number 8 is in tears over on the sideline.
Fuller fakes the handoff, throws a bullet to the middle of the field, and that was just off timing between him and Morris.
And this is somewhat of a crisis as number 6 and number 8 are on the same sideline. In question of their health.
Well, Vincent, he checks back into the game right now.
Just come right out here.
But this is a big question if Thomas can come back in this game with just over 8 minutes left in this half.
And they're evaluating him for the second time in 5 minutes, so it cannot be good.
Even if he has a remote chance to come back, you do not bring him back in this this quarter. No. Let him go in, send him to the locker room early.
I don't even know if you bring him back for the rest of this game, Jared. A player like that could risk your entire season, and they're already up 9 in this game.
Penalty flag, and it looks like it will be against the Middies.
Full start.
False start.
Number 24, 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
And the last thing the Middies need right now, and if I were them, I would definitely try my best to keep number 8 off the field for the rest of this game.
He's taking his pads off now. The trainers are taking his pads off of him on the sideline at about the 40.
Good call for Middletown. Let your defense try to control the rest of this game and see if you can let that little bit of steam carry you through the rest of these 3 quarters.
Springboro, I think they got a hand on that, or he kicked it off the side of his foot. And that punt is going to net no yardage. A 0-yard punt.
And what about that?
The chain gang doesn't even have to move. I think we have checked off all the oddities on special teams tonight.
Well, it's time for my old cliche, Jared.
And then we have
Any
another water
given
break.
Friday.
Oh, God, we got to come back to that. Another water break for the refs, as they say.
I'm telling you, man.
Any given Friday, yeah. Well, then how about you make a sequel to Any Given Sunday with Al Pacino, and you make it for a high school football team?
Well, depends on how good Fuller is.
So we combining them all? I mean, you got the replacements coming into this game too? You can see that, Thomas, he is in agony.
You got to hope he didn't tear something.
Right, or break anything.
Have to be praying down there.
They're barely putting any pressure on it, and he is screaming. That could be a rotator cuff injury. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not foreshadowing anything. And if we find out anything, we'll pass all the information along. But Springboro with new life. Excellent starting field position at the 48. Coming out of the officials' water break.
7:59 to go, second quarter action.
Just under 8 minutes left, 1st and 10 from the 48 here at Careflight Field for our MVCC Game of the Week, week number 2. And Springboro finally coming out of the timeout. That was way too long of a timeout. And Palmer leading the brigade back. See if they can answer the 2 successful drives in a row. And a false start against the Springboro Panthers.
False start, offense, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
So 1st and 15 from the 48 of the opposite side of the field.
Palmer, play action, and then he fakes the run, but will be brought down. Not sure if that's a tackle for loss or a sack, but that definitely is number 50, Sheck Fall. Number 50 being very disruptive on that one. Pushes this play to 2nd and 15.
Palmer back to pass. Palmer steps up in the pocket. He's going to run. He's out to the line of scrimmage, and it's a fumble. And Middletown picks it up and returns to midfield.
Gene Underhill with another forced fumble. That is his 2nd this year. What a strip. Great pursuit on that play by Earl Nelson, but
so Middletown's defense steps up here.
And Underhill is going to have to play like that the rest of this game.
Can Underhill play quarterback? Well, he lined up in Wildcat at the goal line.
He is doing almost everything tonight.
Well, we might see him kick by the end of the night. But here we go. Number 7, Kamari Fuller in for his 2nd offensive snap of the game of the season. And he hands it off to Bryant up the middle, and he'll gain about 3 on the play.
And good tackle off of the edge by the young Titan Case.
Gain of about 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 7 from the Panther 48.
Fuller leading the middies back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 8. Hands off to Bryant again, and he will be close to the 45.
Bryant again up the middle. Tackle made by number 4, Miracle. Gain of about 4 yards on the play.
Gain of about 3. 3rd and about 5. And I think Middletown is just calling running plays to get this half over and regroup at halftime and see what they have to do with the quarterback position. And Fuller is going to take a sack for a big loss in the backfield by number 4. That is Braden Miracle for the Panthers.
Huge play for the senior.
And Fuller looked like he got tackled awkwardly on his shoulder. You see here in the replay, that is how you destroy an elbow.
Ugh.
I don't see a 3rd quarterback on my depth chart. Oh, here we go. Number 15, Noah Locke. Collins back deep to return this punt for the Panthers.
So great play by Gene Underhill, but cannot make it through.
And I think that's just
4 downs.
Having a quarterback come in cold and a bad punt, bad snap, and he is hit in the backfield at about the 25. And the Panthers special teams / defense comes up huge on the last 2 plays.
Huge hit, turnover on downs caused by Titan Case. The young, energetic outside
why
linebacker.
is the Springboro student section not happy? They're back in this game now at the red zone.
29-yard line.
The 29, he was tackled at the 20.
They didn't see it, Jared. They were on their phones.
Oh, get off your phones, kids.
And here we go, Springboro.
The only thing that is keeping Middletown in this game is their electrifying defense.
We'll see if number 21 can change the game in another way here.
A pick 6. But Palmer leads them back at the 29. Best starting field position for the Panthers tonight. They have to capitalize it on this drive.
And Underhill isn't even out there.
Hit in the backfield by number 55, Earl Nelson. loss of 2 on the play. 2nd and 12 from the 31.
Nelson, another contributor from last year, plays offensive and defensive line. Very tough at that.
Palmer and shotgun. Back to pass. Throws it quick to the outside, and that was that
Eric
hold in?
Myers. And that'll be a complete pass.
Palmer's pass is complete to Myers.
It'll be about 3rd and 7 on the play.
It'll be 3rd down and a long 5.
You would almost assume this would have to be 4-down territory if the Panthers, depending what they pick up here. And Palmer thought about a tuck and run, broken coverage.
Run pass option.
Number 81 with the touchdown catch for the
Cameron
Panthers.
Dickerson, the senior tight end, and red zone target. Wow.
They weren't even in the red zone.
I'm pretty sure that was a run pass option, and he opted for the pass, and good thing he did, as that throw
like
of the arm right there, as you see on the City Barbecue replay, single-handedly has put the Panthers back in this game.
I thought he was just throwing it up for a jump ball. And now the Panthers will start that B-O-R-O chant. And Springboro with a chance to cut this to a 2-point lead.
Number 81 looked like he was going out for a rebound there. Excellent red zone reception.
Kick is up, and kick is good. 23-21, Middletown leads with just under 4.5 minutes left.
Just like that, Springboro is right back in this game here in the second corner.
I hope he plays basketball. I can't wait to see if this big man is on the court. And there you see the cheerleaders run with the SHS flags. Springboro is back in this game. New life for the Panthers offensively and defensively. They have to have some sort of mojo with those big 2 successful tackles for loss. And it's just going to be interesting to see how does Don Simpson try and control this game. A 2-point lead without your starting quarterback. The only thing that the Panthers could do wrong in this play is if they kick it to number 5. He had a 99-yard kickoff return earlier this game. I almost said last week that's what it feels like it's been since the last time we've seen Middletown score a touchdown. Brown's kick is up and lost it in the lights. Fielded at about the 5 by number 5.
And Bryant will cut back again. All he has, 2 Springboro Panthers, and he'll just outrun them.
What did I say? Do not kick it to number 5. What do the Panthers do? They kick it to number 5.
Number 5 takes it down to the 5.
Oh my goodness. I said the one thing the Panthers had not to do.
And they have one young playmaker left on that team, and Josh Bryant reminding the Panthers that, yeah, he's still here.
Who is that with the tackle? Number 39 for the Panthers. There is no 39 on the roster. So, Ghost. We'll call him Ghost. Touchdown saving tackle, but I mean...
And Fuller will come out.
And Bryant's not like... Well, he needs a water break after that electrifying return. Fuller's going to hand it off to number 11, and number 11 will be tackled at about the 1. That is, his last name's Thomas. I'm not even trying to pronounce his first name. Shakiaz Thomas.
We apologize.
Yeah, that is, I know that is a complete butcher of that name. That's why you were laughing at me. I looked down and I was like, oh, there's a deer in the headlights moment for an announcer.
And here we go.
Oh, and
second
he's still
attempt
on
at the
the
red
field.
zone play. Thomas up the middle once again, and
tackled
nothing.
and maybe lost one on the play. Number 20. That is that
Titan case once again.
Thomas goes nowhere, knocked down by number 20, Case. Loss of a yard on the play. It'll be
see on the replay, no one blocked number 20, not even the tight end.
And Bryant is checking back into the game.
And this is the last thing that Springboro wants to see. Music very fitting for this moment. As I have an idea where it might be going here.
I don't think they're going to throw it. They think you're going to run it.
Yep.
No, they do run it with Bryant, and he gets down to the one.
No touchdown right there.
No touchdown. He'll be tackled at about the
right at the
2-inch line.
Right at the one.
4 down territory.
Josh Bryant's telling the coaches to go for it here.
Well, that might have been a bad spot. It looks almost a full yard short.
Brought down there by Cameron Snur. And he's telling him to run it.
Look,
the crowd's telling him to run it.
Middletown is pumping up their side.
And now the coach is telling them to run it, and they will go for it here on 4th and goal.
4th and goal with 8 seconds left on the play clock. Let's see if Middletown notices it. Add to 5.
Fuller, snap, Bryant, run.
Bryant, touchdown. No! And Springboro's defense comes up huge with a...
And they are pumped up. Lucas Windholtz with the tackle for loss. And Panthers have some momentum going now. They are not backing down.
Let's take a look at this replay. 2.5 minutes left in this game, by the way, or in this half. But, I mean, that is as close as you can get without getting a touchdown if you're the Middies. I agree with the play call. You got to go for it. You got to build some sort of new offensive momentum.
For the 3rd straight year, it's Burrow's Best Fan, brought to you by B&B Carryout. Make some noise, Panther
So
fans.
now Landon Palmer looking at 98 yards in him and Pater to try and take the lead back from this Middies offense.
You're about to receive a free pizza.
The only thing you have worrying about you is you are in the shadow of your own goalpost.
5 now and 5 again in the 3rd quarter, all season long.
There we go.
Palmer high snaps, gets out of the end zone.
So great awareness by the junior, but upended by Vincent. Couldn't get anywhere.
That would have been detrimental for this Panthers offense. The defense just came up with a huge 4th down stop, and Palmer about turned it over. Nice pluck out of the air for Palmer. Palmer hands off to, I believe that's 22.
And as if the
No,
Middies,
Cassidy came back in.
and as if the Middies' problems
and another
couldn't
injured
get worse
player.
enough.
Who is that? That is injured for the
Number
Middies.
28, Cameron Dillingham, one of their biggest defensive players. And meanwhile, number 21, Underhill, has not been on the field since the strip.
He's grabbing his knee.
And that is the 4th injured player tonight, to our knowledge so far.
Hopefully it's just some cramps.
Man, the Middies are coming down with the bug.
Well, the refs better get their water break in because they've got 2 minutes left in this first half.
Well, I'm not sure I see Underhill on the sideline. I think he may be sitting down. I think he might have gotten injured too without our knowledge.
I don't see him along the sideline either. Oh, he's down here.
So I think he might have removed his pads. I think that might be him right there. And so
that is just detrimental.
Nothing can go right.
I'm going to assume you lose Jerron Thomas for the game.
Oh, yeah.
Vincent was hurt for a few plays.
Thank God Vincent came back in.
Right,
for the Middies.
Now Underhill.
So things looking very bright for Springboro. Meanwhile, very dim for Middletown.
Tonight's MVCC High School Football Game of the Week is being recorded by the Miami Valley Communications Council, volunteers, and media students from Fairmont High School. Go to our website, mvcc.net, to find a schedule for rebroadcast of this game and others throughout the season. And while you're there, find out how you can become a part of community media. Get class information, streaming videos, and more. Visit mvcc.net. Miami Valley Adapted Sports is another sponsor. MVAS is a Paralympic sports club that provides recreational and competitive sporting opportunities for individuals with physical disabilities. Visit MiamiValleyAdaptedSports.org for more information. Cart come out. This is not a good sign if you're the Middies.
Especially a player of this stature for their defense.
Right, Dillingham is a 5'9", 180-pound linebacker, cornerback for the Middies, and you're going to hear a round of applause from both sidelines as you hate seeing players injured, and where it comes to severity, where the cart has to come out.
especially in high school where it's a lot more personal.
PEI Benedict, Harrison Financial Group, the Foreign Exchange. T-Fit Gym, Skyline Chili of Springboro, and
You see the few players that were over there by him,
also Janine Lamar,
patting him on the shoulder as he leaves, and here comes the rest of the defense.
Thank you for your sponsorship.
There's the coach. And now, if you're the middies, you have to regroup. You have to get that out of your head. This is going to be interesting how Middletown approaches the rest of this game, both offensively and defensively.
They have to urgently find a prideful response to such discouraging events so far, because whether or not Panthers like it, it's helping them a lot.
Palmer airing it out to Myers along the sideline, and he does not haul in the one-handed grab.
Overthrow. Eric Myers had the B route the entire time. He just kept going, but Palmer just puts a little bit too much touch on it, as you see in the City Barbecue replay, in his end zone, trying to air it out with some arc, and just a little bit too much. Myers even dived, and it's still out of his reach. And just what they did not want to do, punting.
Punt from your end zone.
Yeah, especially the back of your end zone. Nonetheless, with a lot of athletes in white as the middies.
If I'm Middletown, I'm sending everything in the kitchen sink at this punt.
Especially.
The ball was on the ground. Gets it off, though. Nice end-over-end spiral punt. And no fair catch called. Let's see if there's a block in the
Shandon.
And there's the flag.
Thomas.
Don't even count it. It
Wow.
won't count. It will not count. There's 2 flags on the field. That block in the back will negate it.
And there was another gigantic block on that play.
I hate to disappoint the middies that traveled from Middletown, but that play is coming back right
They
here.
were really pumped
Watch
with that one.
Block in the back. That one will negate it. And
Boom,
there's another.
right there.
That's another block in the back. That is.
A lot of unsafe plays, but surprisingly, no.
On the return team, we have block in the back. At this spot, that penalty is declined. At that flag, we had a block in the back.
I love this referee. First he's calling
First
water
down.
breaks it at that spot and at that spot.
So a nice run back by Shandon.
I don't see why these Middletown fans are disappointed and booing. That is a great call. You protect. You had to protect the players and limit those unnecessary penalties. So now Middletown will start at their drive at the 45.
I'm going to try to get something here lined up in the eye. And
Now they're going to go in shotgun and send trips to the bottom.
hand it off to Brian again.
And he's tackled at about midfield for about a 5-yard gain.
Quickly corralled by Cameron Snurr and Ethan France.
More on the play to the 50-yard line, 2nd down.
Or Braden Miracle, excuse me, number 4. Fuller will take this one again and play action.
Oh, that's a broken play. The running back was not there to get pitched to.
And Fuller does not look like a natural thrower back there, as his footwork looked kind of urgent.
3rd down and 6 from the 50.
Very uncoordinated.
And now it looks like Fuller's coming to the sideline to get direction from the quarterback's coach. And now they're going to go back out there with 7 seconds left on the play clock. Fuller gets it, going to look to air it out, throwing it with everything.
Goodness.
And undercut and intercepted by, is that Miracle?
No, that'll be Josh Collins. Old reliable. 2 picks last year, first pick of the year. Hasn't been lining up at defensive back a lot since he became the #1 wide receiver. But gets one there. D-back, as you can see, Fuller telegraphed it the entire time and still did not get enough air to match Shandon Thomas's wheels.
50 seconds left. Does Springboro have a chance to drive down the field with 2 timeouts?
Shandon Morris, excuse me.
And right now, the ball is at about the 15-yard line. Palmer has 50 seconds, 2 timeouts. You have to work the sideline here for the Panthers. Palmer hands off to Kessaday, and he will not get out of bounds, but he will have enough for a first down. If you're Springboro, you have to get your lineman to the ball quickly.
Seeing his first carry in a while. And that was actually, and the refs will call that out of bounds, Jared. That'll stop the clock at 43.
Palmer hands off. No, fakes the hand.
Again, the exact same way. And a little bit of a hold there on the right side of the line. Springboro lineman dragging the Middletown player to the ground. Looked like number 73 right there for the Panthers. Palmer again, handoff to Kessaday, the exact same side, and that will move it up to the 40.
The first down will stop the clock. Wilhite keeping those 2 timeouts in his back pocket with 28 seconds left. You have to call one of your timeouts.
Hands on the hips. Middies are tired. Very tired here going into this one. 23 seconds. 20.
Kessaday gets the handoff
again.
The
exact same play.
And I think he got out of bounds. The refs say he does.
I don't even think they're changing formation, Jared.
Second and about 3 from the 47.
And still keeping the timeouts. 16 left, run the clock.
No, he got out of bounds.
Oh, wow.
Palmer back to pass. Palmer fakes it, gonna run with it. He has the whole right side. He has 81 wide open, plants, throws.
Oh.
Almost, that could have been intercepted, and Palmer was hit as he threw, and there's a flag on the play.
Good footwork there by Palmer. May get rewarded.
I don't think
depending
so.
on what the flag.
I think that's an illegal man down.
So fake there. Good job of continuing to consistently move the pocket.
I think that's an illegal man downfield is what the referee looked like he signaled.
And that's going to make it, if it is, it's going to make it almost impossible for the Panthers.
Ineligible receiver downfield.
Yep.
Offense, number 59. 5-yard penalty, previous spot. Replay, second down.
You are right, Jared. And that will be huge infraction for Springboro. Make it almost impossible to get a TD on this one, as they'll have 4 deep.
Kessaday's gonna run it. He gets out of bounds. Is there any time left? No. And that is how your first half comes to an end in our Week 2 game of the week. Middletown holds a 2-point lead, 23-21 over the hometown Springboro Panthers. And we're going to toss it over to the bands for halftime, and we'll be back after this for the second half of our City Barbecue Game of the Week. right, welcome back to Care Flight Field at Watkins Stadium here in Springboro, Ohio, for the second half of our MVCC City Barbecue Game of the Week for week number 2. Middletown currently holds a 2-point lead, 23-21 over the Panthers. Jeff, what do you think is going to happen in the second half?
Well, I definitely think we're headed towards a Springboro comeback and a Springboro victory, Jared. With all of the turmoil happening in the Middies first half, I don't think they're primed to come back at all. And I would be worried much more beyond this game, as their season could be in jeopardy with their exhilarating starting quarterback down for we don't know how long so far. And number 21, Underhill, already out too.
And you saw before the half ended, Cameron Dillingham also went out on the stretcher.
So all very big impact players, but and that's just incredibly detrimental for the Middies.
But the way high school football is, I mean, you got to be the next man up.
It's all about next man up, Jared. And Fuller, the backup quarterback for the Middies, was not about that in the second quarter, as he stepped in and looked very, very confused and startled. And so I'm very intrigued to see how they start this half and what their approach to the offense would be after coming up short.
And Middletown gets the ball to start this second half, so it will be interesting to see how Fuller will come back, or how he can bounce back in the second half. And let's see if the Panthers kick it to number 5, proven twice to be detrimental to them in the first half. Brown's going to squib it. It's going to be fielded at the 20 by number 4, Morris.
Standing.
Morris is going to turn field and cut upfield and get out to the 30, so about a 10-yard return on the kickoff.
Trying to do something with it, but there wasn't very many angles there. And so now that will bring out Gamari Fuller and this once very dangerous Middies offense.
It'll be interesting to see how many more touches Bryant is going to get in this second half.
I think there's going to be a lot. I think they will definitely try to pound the rock.
Well, nope. First play from scrimmage, they're going to line up 3 to the top and 2 to the bottom.
I would definitely watch that screen, as Bryant is arched back more than.
And well, now he's going to come in motion. A high snap, but they're going to hand it off to Bryant, and Bryant hit immediately at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of 1.
What a play off the edge by Titan Case. You have to get a tackle on him. He's proven throughout this game that he is going to stay home on that edge and is not going to be fooled by anything.
It'll be 2nd and 9.
Great wisdom by the sophomore there. Fuller gets the ball. Handoff to Bryant once again.
Bryant hit at the line of scrimmage again, and maybe will gain a yard.
And the Panthers' rushing defense is done playing games. Surged up the middle. Big stop there.
No gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 9.
Actually, a gain of nothing on the play. So you're going to see, look at the 3 formation receivers to the bottom down here. Maybe a screen pass. No, Fuller's going to run out, and Fuller tackled from behind.
Oh, my goodness, he got it off. What a tremendous, stripped at the end. But what a tremendous pass.
To number 25, Jermaine Richards.
And Fuller's only complete pass of the entire night so far is falling to the ground on the run.
Knocked away, but after he caught it,
Jared McCarthy was the strip, but did not matter, as he was already right by that out-of-bounds line.
Bryant gets a handoff to the left side. He cuts it back up at the 40, and he will get out to about the 40, or get down to about the 38.
Finally getting some kind of daylight, but shut down immediately by Blue. Fuller with the formation switching sides. Very rapid fire like, and gets the Springboro Panthers jumping off sides and rush the snap count. Springboro was ready, but a little too ready, as this will give Middletown 5 more yards to work with.
So it'll be 2nd and about 6 or 7. No, or
Dead ball foul.
4 or 5.
Encroachment. Defense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
And something Burrow did so well late in that second half when they were coming back was limit the stupid mistakes and penalties. They can continue to control the game. They have a chance to come back, but right now coming out of this first half doesn't look like they do, as Josh Bryant
picks up the first down for the Middies, down to about the 26-yard line. Collins with the tackle for the Panthers.
Number 5 has been a reoccurring event in this game. The workhorse for the Middies, getting it done on offense, still
and
up.
He gets it again. Bryant cuts it back to the outside. Has the sideline, and he might be in for a touchdown. No, he's knocked out of bounds at about the 12-yard line.
And how about the Middies receiving corps right there? They got a couple pancakes moving up the field.
Actually, they're going to call him out at about the 16. That is a terrible spot by the refs.
But Bryant will get a well-deserved break. And number 3, Cameron Jr. coming in for the carry.
3, Cameron Jr., the ball carrier, tackled from behind by number 54, Jake Kowalski.
Is that his actual last name?
Jake Kowalski, yeah.
No, Cameron Jr.
Oh, yes.
Second down and a long
Not very common.
From the Panther 13.
Fuller in the gun with 4 wide.
They picked that one off
Million
the ground,
in
it looked like,
motion.
and that's a backwards pass. A live ball, and Springboro has forced the first turnover of this game.
Panther recovered.
And a wave of blue bursting through the line of scrimmage. And now we have Springboro's ball after that turnover.
He just lost it off of his, yeah. And who is that recovering? Number 24 for the Panthers?
54.
54. And now Springboro has
Pretty sure
got,
that's Kowalski.
oh, Springboro has got to work something down the field and try and take their first lead of this game.
They'll have 3 receivers there.
Officials timeout.
And the officials are stopping play again.
Perhaps another water break, Jared.
No, I saw them signal a player go.
Yeah, I know.
I think number 11 they told to get off the field, and I think Myers
It's
came in
Josh
to
Collins.
replace him. Myers replaces him. Palmer kind of with a Statue of Liberty handoff.
And Stamkov takes it for not a lot of gain. And remember, Stamkov was the man who got momentum going initially for the Springboro offense.
Yeah, that second to last drive.
At the end of the first quarter and the beginning of the second. Brennan Moore, it looked like he was heading off the field, but will reestablish regular position at the slot. Now Palmer will take another handoff. No, play action right down the middle to Moore for a slant. And
Thomas,
looks like he has a seam.
Thomas has one man to beat, and he's pushed out of bounds at about the 35-yard line.
Brandon Thomas. I'm sorry, I said Moore. Excuse me.
Pushed out of bounds by Brown for the Middies, but Springboro one play gets into Middies territory at the 40. And right now, Palmer has got to feel some sort of urgency. Palmer hands off to that long outside handoff to Stamkov, and Stamkov will gain about 6 on the play.
Stamkov powers his way across the 20 or across the 35, tackled by 17. Wilson.
As you see on the City Barbecue replay, Thomas right down the slot with the slant, getting a huge chunk of yardage. Palmer back.
Pulls it out, throws it to Myers across the middle. Did he come up with that?
Another slant, and it looked like a late hit.
I can't believe Myers came up with that one. Another Panther first down, and now at about the 28, 29-yard line, you see here in the replay, he threads the needle on that one between him and Duckworth.
Beaming it.
Palmer hands off to Stamkov. Stamkov cuts to the outside, and that will be about a hard-fought 2.
Very tough, very effective on the runs, getting into the gritty teeth of the defense. Stamkov is really making the most of all of his carries tonight.
I don't have Stamkov listed at what grade, height, or weight.
Palmer
back to pass. Targets, that is number 3, I believe. Yes, number 3 with the catch.
Casey Quigley.
First time we've called his name tonight.
Definitely in the mix of Springboro wide receivers, but first look tonight. As you see on the replay, another slant. 3rd successful slant on this drive.
And right now, Palmer has them in goal-to-go situation. Stamkov with the, or no, that's
Kessaday still fighting after contact.
And Kessaday maybe gets to the line of scrimmage.
Great effort, nonetheless, number 5. And 2 middies down on the ground.
That is not good. That looks like...
Oh, my goodness. And these trainers look absolutely exhausted.
Looks like, is that 20?
It's number 29.
29.
James Miller.
Kalon Johnson has to tie his shoe right there. And the other one looks like, is that
number
20?
17.
17. Nah, I do not have a 17 on my roster. Let's see if we can see. Were they the ones in on the tackle? There's 17 right there.
And 29, the second one to make contact. And there's 17.
I don't see
falls
where
under 29's ankle.
Oh, and then gets landed on by a lineman. That can't feel good. 29's up and walking, though. But he looks like he's out of breath.
Middletown getting all kinds of shaken up in this game.
Well, you know what that means. It's a water break for the refs.
Check out our great collection of coach-approved Nike sideline gear and new vintage.
Check out MVCC.fans for real-time live scores of our season's game. Engage now at MVCC.fans. Go to MVCC.social to find us all over social media. Follow us for updates all season long and join in on the conversation using the hashtag MVCC_net. As each player walks off the field under their own power, and Middletown applauds them.
So they're just praying to halt on the injuries. Middletown, a lot of effective players lost tonight so far, and now
that's at least, I think, 6 that I've counted that have not come out.
5 minutes into the third quarter.
Because Vincent has came back into the game.
Yep, there's just more and more turmoil here for Middletown. And they're going to try to hold up on this red zone stand here as Palmer in the Springboro offense will come back out in usual formation. 3 wide receivers tied in, halfback behind him.
Palmer
play action.
fakes it. Palmer throws it in the end zone.
That is a touchdown.
It's a touchdown for the Panthers. That is number 2, Braden Thomas. And the Panthers have their first lead of the night, 27-23.
Play action pass complete. 8 yards for the score.
8-yard touchdown catch for Braden Thomas, and the Panthers are looking to go up by 5. Brown on to kick the extra point. Snaps good, holds good, kick is up and good.
So Brandon Thomas continues to be the top receiver by Springboro.
Inclement weather, they're calling the game for inclement weather right now.
Oh my goodness, we are halfway through the third quarter, folks. And this one